Welcome to the Scottie and Sylvia show. We are best friends who keep our finger on the pulse of the culture. I'm Scottie Beam.
And I'm Sylvia Obell. And on this show, we talk about it all, from our favorite actors to our favorite affirmations.
From black joy to black drama.
And just a sprinkle of Caucasian chaos every now and again.
Welcome to the Scottie and Sylvia show, where we speak our minds like it's our full-time job and have so much fun doing it. I am Scottie Beam. You know, just celebrating her birthday again. It is now November and I am still getting birthday cakes. Okay? So I think this is the last time, guys, for my birthday, I will say. I want to thank everybody for giving me an incredible birthday. It's been a month of birthday cakes. So I just want to say thank you. Signed, the birthday girl. Bye.
And I'm Sylvia Obell. And I'm never getting on a plane again. Yep. Hey friend, how you doing this week?
No. How are you doing this week, Sylvia? Yeah, go ahead. You know what? What do we know? I know, but I don't think they know. So what did you do after Austin, Texas? Actually, talk to us about Austin, Texas first.
We should, because I'm also a survivor of a bat attack. And I would like everybody to take this more seriously. I am here as a survivor, not a victim, but a survivor. Okay?
Yes. What happened?
So, I was at Afro Tech last week, guys. I had two panels. The first one I was a panelist on. It was about paving your way in media. Both were in the same location, mind you. That one was in the early afternoon. Went on without a hitch. Came, we left, boom. Around 4:30, was coming back to do a one-on-one conversation with Marsai Martin for the When We All Vote initiative, Michelle Obama's initiative, and Marsai's 19, trying to get Gen Z to vote, trying to galvanize the work, doing the work. Yes. You know what I mean? But when I tell you voting suppression is real, voter suppression is real.
That right wing said.
When I tell you that they are really starting early to keep us away from the fucking polls. They are releasing bats. Bats. They're releasing bats into our conversations about the importance of voting. I learned that Austin, Texas, is known to be a popular bat location. Didn't know that. They're not supposed to be inside, though. We were inside the theater, for those who are wondering. No, we were not outdoors. Halfway through the conversation, about 15 minutes in to a 30-minute convo, I started to see I think it's a bird. And I'm like, I see it, and I'm like, is that a bird? At first, I'm like, who is a bird in here? But the door released outside, so I said maybe one snuck in. And then it started to get a little, and I know that a lot of people are afraid of birds. I'm not afraid of birds, but that's where the line is drawn. So I said jokingly, because I saw it stirring up some of the audience, I was like, is that a bird? And then I said, as long as it's not a bat, I'm good. Like, ha-ha.
Ha-ha. Right.
And then the whole audience said back, like it was calling in response in church.
They said it's a bat.
They said, it's a bat, sis. I said, excuse me? Because you know how the lights on stage, you can't really see. I said, excuse me? And I said, wow, y'all could have lied to me so I could keep going.
And that bat was like, she fucked up and called me a bird? And flew right over Sylvia's head.
So it started so we decided, we tried to push past it. I made a couple jokes about that. Marsai didn't have her glasses on, so she couldn't see at first. And I said, keep them off, sis. But the problem is that the lights in the thing, it's like you just keep seeing shadow. So you don't know where it is, where it's coming from. You're just seeing the shadow and the bird itself, because it's flying around all the stage lights. So it's getting scarier and scarier. And eventually it hits a girl in the audience. Like it flies into a girl in the audience. And that's when you see Marsai hit the little Kim. We get to the ground, we duck, and we say, oh, hell no, this is over. I said, goodbye, guys. This is not in our contract. We run off the stage. I run back for the cell phones, and Marsai runs back for her drink. And we run off that stage faster than we've ever ran before.
Did anybody do a vibe check on the girl that was hit by the bat?
I couldn't tell who it was because you know how the audience is dark and we're in a theater. I can't. All I saw was the people around sis react. It flew into them, and I said, "Oh, bats have rabies. Bats might turn you into a vampire. We have not confirmed or denied.
We don't know.
I don't know. So all I know is that I wasn't being paid enough to risk my life or my health, and I had to protect the baby. Tried my best. She turned around and she was on her own, but her parents are backstage like, "Thank you for cutting this short," because even people backstage were like, "Whoa!" Like it just kept flying everywhere. It was hilarious after the fact.
That video was
the fact that niggas was afraid but still hit record. All of you in the audience, and I knew the second I started to flail around and run. I said, "We're going viral. We're about to go viral for all the wrong reasons."
Got Sylvia. Sylvia got up out of there.
Oh my God! There's a Getty picture of us.
There's a Getty picture.
The Getty
of y'all.
Blavity posted the clip. Everybody thought it was a hee ha. When I tell you the whole night, the rest of the night, girl, that bat, like everybody wanted to come up to me with a video. The Getty pictures I have not seen. They are dropping them for me live right now, guys. And I have never thought that why would these end up on Getty?
I want y'all. I wish that we could post these because
we can't with the label.
Sylvia
I can't with
is
the
already
label.
up. Sylvia is standing already. Marsai has not yet gotten up. She's still sitting on. Sylvia's on her way out. She was about to go stage right, but baby girl, I think you turned around and went stage left.
Stage left. I did because I realized that there was no exit that way. I was pivoting.
Yeah.
I'm from Jersey, y'all. I also went to an HBCU.
Out of there.
I know how to run when trouble is amidst.
I laughed so hard. I was not expecting that for my weekend. I really wasn't.
Oh.
That shit was so funny.
Because this is crazy. Black people don't do bats. Anyway, the point here is, guys, for those who think that your vote doesn't matter, if it didn't matter, they wouldn't be trying this hard to keep you.
It probably was a drone. What they be saying?
From the plum.
Probably was a drone.
Okay, because they know what people are scared of. They know. We was in Texas, too.
Exactly.
We was in Texas.
Yep.
So
that was it.
I survived that, and then because
because what?
You know, sometimes in life.
Oh, I love whenever somebody starts with "sometimes in life." I know the bullshit is coming right after because here it is.
You just need to make a chaotic choice to spice things up. You know what I mean? Just
your life up to spice your life up.
Spice up your life, as a famous pop group once said. Spice up. Sometimes you gotta spice up your life, and I decided that I was too close to North Carolina to not go to homecoming. It was a difference between coming home on Friday night or coming home Sunday. So I guess it's technically 2 days. But my point is that I regret nothing.
Good. I've been yelling for her to go since that shot fest. I was like, she's gonna go. She's gonna definitely go.
No, Scottie was more like, if you go to this, so
also, yeah, because that's it too. Because I was like, yo, dog, the way that we have been carrying on.
We've been carrying.
You mean to tell me if you could do this last leg, this is it for you?
This is it. I am not. I'm grounded till Christmas, and I said that to my therapist, and my therapist said, "Sylvia, that's only a month away." She said, that's not a long time for most.
And I don't even believe you there.
You don't believe me there? I mean, I ain't got no plans to go outside of Los Angeles.
That's usually how it works, though. You didn't have no plans.
My
to go
family's coming here for Thanksgiving.
Okay, good.
So I'm already making the steps to stay in Los Angeles, is what I'm saying. Okay. For those who are concerned about me, don't be. But yes, no, happy like HBCU homecoming season. I believe A&T was one of the last weekend. I think they're all wrapped up by now. Great time. Love my Aggies. Love my campus. Love our collective cutting upness, and shout out to everybody who both on when me and Scottie went to Spellhouse, and then when I went to homecoming, poured so much into us in the podcast. Like, people pulled me aside talking about what it means to them, all of those great things. professors saying they're proud, like something about going back to where everything was still just a dream.
Every time I talk about it,
it's like it just really grounds you, and it just is a great way to feel grateful and humble and all of these things, because like literally I'm like 10 years ago, or more than 10 years ago now, like if you would have told me what my life was
right
now, like, I wouldn't have believed you. So that was great. Always a good time. And
it's a great reminder of how everything has a starting point.
Yeah.
And that growth is inevitable. You will get better. I think when we were going through Clark campus and also going through like Spell House, I had those same thoughts about like, just it started here. My thoughts and dreams of wanting to do something different started here. And also seeing the faces of people who started with you.
Yes.
And knew so many different versions of you. Because, you've grown, you've evolved, so you're a different person. But I think the people that knew you from freshman year of college and that know you now, I think looking at them, I don't know.
It hits different. The affirmation from them hits different because they was there.
Because they know. They saw.
Because they know.
Right.
They were on the ground. Do you understand?
Right.
They were on the ground floor.
Right.
And like, that they loved you and rocked with you when there was no reason
when we was all broke.
Like, literally,
we had
when
nothing.
Just loved me for me. So, but also speaking of love that we've been getting for the show.
Love. Oh my gosh.
We have also started realizing that y'all have been leaving the show reviews on Spotify, and it's just really been warming our heart. First of all, thank you for everybody who's rating and commenting and leaving reviews on both Apple Podcasts and Spotify. Both matter a lot.
Both
so hey,
absolutely.
If you haven't and you have a little something on your heart, please continue to. But we definitely want to read a couple that really just warmed us up. The first one is from last week's episode, Green Flag, 2 weeks ago. Episode 16, Green Flag, Red Flag, featuring Dr. Joy. Some listeners said, love this in every one of the episodes of the Scottie and Sylvia show. I find myself smiling, laughing, tearing up sometimes, and learning. It's my place of joy. We love to be your place of joy.
Yes. The other one, I think this review is from episode 15, Oysters, 48 Oysters and Counting.
I love that title so much.
Somebody said, congrats on the billboard. So deserved. Have to agree with your Drake take. Never thought hype would be more about controversy than quality bars.
Well,
thought-provoking. I know that's right.
Welcome to hip-hop.
Yep.
And thanks for the billboard, guys. That did happen.
Oh my God.
So much has happened, bro.
It's happened.
So much has happened that I couldn't even get to our billboard. And my sister had to remind me that it's a blessing to be so booked that you can't see your own billboard. You can't even
see your own billboard.
We have to fly
to
Atlanta
in LA too. Like, that's crazy. Flying out to see a billboard in New York is nuts.
The other next listener review is from episode 13, Beyond the Stars, funny enough, featuring Danielle. Reads a bitch down, Ioka, aka Mystic Lipstick.
To this day,
a lot of y'all keep stopping us and saying, "Hey,
you all right?"
That girl really got in
y'all
there.
To the
That's
socks.
So crazy. Like, some of y'all take a little too much pleasure in it, but anyway.
Yeah.
Somebody commented saying, "Love this. I'm such an astrology nerd. It's so great for self-awareness. Great show, ladies. I appreciate you guys being vulnerable with us."
Oh
Thank you.
Gosh,
thank you for the appreciation, baby.
That was as vulnerable as we gonna get,
baby.
Okay,
Child.
That was crazy. I was rewatching some of those videos.
Oh, were you?
Clips.
I will never watch it.
I was just watching our mannerisms, in which like you could tell it was uncomfortable. Like, we were both like, there was a lot of movement happening.
One of them is my favorite meme of myself. It's now my header on Twitter. When I was like, this, like
when you wrap your hair around you,
and I'm just like this. That's like my header on Twitter now. It might become my profile picture soon.
It's just so crazy.
It just really encapsulated how I felt in that moment.
Mm-hmm.
It also speaks to our personalities, because you lean in, and I'm like away,
lean back, right? Because I need to make sure we know what's going on.
Yes.
But Yeah, so speaking about the things that we feel and how we feel on certain things, child. Let's talk about
the girls
some
have
of
been
these
busy
things
as
that are
us.
happening lately, because we can just start by saying Megan The Stallion, the girl, dropped a new music video for her song Cobra.
Yes, her new
Which
single.
she's funded herself. She's independent now. Shout out to her.
Yeah,
Okay?
shout out to the girls who
out
said,
her
"Fuck it,
own pocket,
I'll do it myself."
doing it herself. Now the lyrics. I don't know how you're gonna be dancing in the club to this, but
I don't think this was for the club.
I don't know. I was doing a little bop. But when she was like, "This pussy depressed," I was like, "Damn, that's crazy."
The girls
This
said that's a
pussy is
bar.
depressed.
The girls
Right.
the girls on X said this pussy is depressed. They said that's a bar for the ages.
It's true.
I had never personally thought to put it that way, but hey, I see where y'all was going with that. I see where y'all was going with that. I see how it fits into how she talks about pussy in general. It is pussy rap, and sometimes pussy rap is depressed. And I think that's the point. Hot girls get sad too.
Yes.
Megan has had a couple. I mean, from her mother dying to now, she has been through.
I don't know how
things that I wouldn't wish on my worst enemy. You know, a parent's death, being scammed by her, like people who tried to help her up, being attacked by a friend and then being lied on and made villainized for just, trying to protect herself and have her legal rights. And then when it turned out to be true, y'all still didn't give her just due.
Exactly.
Being
publicly
ridiculed and harassed and called a liar, only to be told it was the truth, and everybody shut up and didn't give their apologies.
Then to go through a court process, and people who actually have been through court processing, like the whole court shit, it is exhausting. I can't imagine how she's done all this.
I can't.
And so while listening to this, and then on top of that, coming home and your nigga is getting neck from some bitch in your house, in your bed.
Urban Dictionary definition moment spotlight. Neck means
I'm sorry. I want the more you know.
I want the more you know, Rainbow. Neck is oral sex.
So sorry.
No, I love it. I just wanted to. I just knew maybe somebody somewhere out there in the Midwest was a black girl who said, "Huh," and I just wanted her to know that she meant head. Head, oral sex, whatever you may call it.
So,
Party cheated.
While she's going through all of that.
All of this, she insinuates that Party cheated. She did not name him by name.
Right.
But that's the only man that she's been publicly claimed a relationship with. Mm-hmm. And she said, it was happening in the same place she laid her head at, which is crazy.
That's crazy.
In the bed that I'm sleeping in, you gonna cheat on me when I'm in the middle of all of this is wild. And a lot of the girls felt the same way because baby, they've been
tearing him up.
Tearing
his ass up as he should, because he gets on Instagram.
And does he lean out? Does he apologize? Does he say, "Hey, I fucked up, guys. You're right. It happens sometimes. The stress." What? No, he chose violence.
Nope. He posts a future video that was old that says, "It's a crazy world we live in.
It's a crazy world we're living in." It's something Future posted probably when he got caught cheating back sometime in 2016. I don't know, but Future is known for his his ways. Yeah. And so
who's also a Scorpio. God bless.
It's Scorpio season, guys, and we're trying to tell y'all it's not safe. It ain't safe. It ain't safe. It ain't safe.
Be careful out here.
But
Scorpio niggas are terrifying.
But one Scorpio nigga who seems to be getting it a little right, and I'm really blown away by this. Nelly. And Ashanti.
This nigga is grinning harder
than the Grinch when he stole Christmas. Whoa. It's it is all his teeth. I don't think I've ever seen this many of Nelly's teeth. And this man has a song about grills, and I ain't never seen as many of his teeth before.
This nigga has shown every tooth being with Ashanti. And Ashanti is what? A Libra. Just want to point that out.
And she's so happy, baby. Because let me tell you something. So, okay, we've been seeing them ever since the verses, the Fat Joe Ja Rule verses, when Nelly hugged Ashanti. That was the first public moment of them returning where we all said, "Oh," and then I feel like since that day, he ain't let go. And this year, they confirmed it. You know, she came out in a very head ass way. That was my first clue that the girl was gone, with the purse at the VMAs of a picture of her and Nelly, and I said, "Wow, my girl." Whoa, in your 40s to do some shit like that is like
some Long Island shit right there, baby. What are you doing, girl?
But so, you know, I've seen it and I've been hesitant just because, like, I did like them together. You know, I know the same thing about circling the block always. There's always a reason you broke up. I do think that they took enough time. It's been about a decade since they were together. That is a good amount of time, I would say. I'm not an advocate for spinning the block too soon.
Yeah, don't
but do if you guys have gone your separate ways, maybe learn some lessons, have some healing, and come back to each other, I can see how maybe you have a fighting chance. What are your thoughts on spinning the block a decade later?
I'm for it. Mm-hmm. Only, like you said though, 10 years plus. 10 years is the max. Is the
minimum? Maybe 5. I mean, well, the girls are like,
no,
I'm getting old. Maybe a little 5.
Okay, maybe 5.
I think the older you get, the less, like, you know, where are you? In your 20s, give it 10. In your 30s, maybe give it 5, 6. In your 40s, maybe less. You know, but like, I just think that the main thing is that lessons have to have been learned. Hard talks have to have been discussed. Healing has to happen. You can't sweep things under the rug and get back into it. It really has to be.
There has to be a sit down where you guys are discussing why y'all broke up. And whatever conversation that wasn't had before has to happen now. And also how we've changed our behaviors from before now. Because I don't want it looking the same. That's the fear. You don't want the same things to present itself in your big ass age. Especially if y'all, what?
No, I was going to say, you said especially if what?
No, especially if y'all were dating in y'all 20s and you're in your 30s and you feel like you've made so much, so much growth and you've done so much work just to regress and do the same shit y'all were doing at 23, 25. It makes no sense. So what I would say is that you sit down, y'all talk and have, and not just one talk. I need several talks. I want to know
maybe some couples counseling, to be honest. Like, some media things. And I just hope that Ashanti and Nelly have gone through somewhat of that process. I don't know, guys. I mean, they look happy now, and so I'm going to be happy for them now. And I would love for this to be it, because the only thing worse than getting played than a nigga once is getting played by a nigga twice.
So, it's terrifying.
But speaking of legends,
all the legends. Missy Elliot got inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame as she fucking should have years ago. But Here we are right now celebrating it. Queen Latifah presented it to her. It was incredible to see. You know, we've talked about Missy Elliott so many times on this podcast simply because I think she's just,
I love her.
She's an example of stepping and coloring outside the lines and making it a masterpiece. She knows how to just compose. She's a great composer. She's a great musician. She's just great in every aspect of the word as far as music is concerned, but also from what I'm reading and what I continue to learn about Missy Elliott as a person. She is a great person. Mm-hmm. People show up for Missy Elliott. Don't nobody miss Missy Elliott nothing. You understand? And it goes without saying, like, she puts her 110% into everything that she does. At Essence Fest, she did that that show was crazy.
She's ahead of her time. Like, literally, she's always an alien superstar, like Beyonce song about.
Always.
Like, she has been, for her music to be even more relevant today than it was then, for her to lean so much into the nerdiness of how she's like, her and Tim just be in the studio. They live for this shit. Like, this is like beat make production. They're not playing around. She is one of once in a generation talent, and we feel so blessed to be alive at the same time as Missy Misdemeanor Elliot. I am so glad you guys gave her things from the moment Super Duper Fly dropped.
Mm-hmm.
It's just been on our necks ever since.
And she will not let up. And she refuses to let up. Even with the new music that she releases now and the people that she continues to work with now, she refuses to let up. And she is always ahead of the curve. So I love her. She's a legend. In our eyes, will always be a legend. And so, like, it's well deserved. You should give her another one just based on videos. And the fact that Missy posted it on Twitter just so nonchalantly.
See, like, oh,
it was like, my mom, you know, here she is.
I've been hiding her from y'all because I know y'all annoying. It's giving that. It's like, I knew y'all was going to act like this.
And they tore that post up.
Child. They sure did. They said, you have been hiding her from us.
Right.
And I think somebody told us that it was the first time her mom saw her perform because she was afraid for her mom to see her cuss.
Yeah.
Which is very black. That's very black of Missy, but come on, Missy, come on.
That's crazy.
BravoCon was over the weekend. It was in Las Vegas this year. It's normally in New York City, but this year it was in Las Vegas. And the conference itself obviously was not embarrassing. It was, it's always a good time. I actually got to be part of the very first BravoCon back in New York. I got
Sylvia's
to
in the history books.
I got to do the first Housewives of Atlanta panel back when it was at its
the best.
Former glory.
Number one.
The room was packed, baby. I think that's still the biggest audience I ever spoke in front of live, to be honest. But it's always a good time because if you're a Bravo-like fan, Bravo celebrities everywhere you look. They come together, they bring them together, they joke. It's like Comic-Con. But basically that's what they're going for Bravo. So at the clip that I would like to discuss, Andy does a roast. Andy Cohen, who was, does his little spiel to intro the whole night. Everybody's in the audience, all the Bravo celebrities, and he's roasting people playfully. It's ha 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 ha. This man ends the roast with saying, and I want to thank Bravo for paying for everybody's hotel and bringing everybody out here so that Juan Dixon didn't have to.
Oh boy. And it's the fact
that
the
camera spins right to Robin.
And the fact that Robin tried to do this whole aha, funny one, Robin. We were all embarrassed.
I choked. I actually choked on my water.
Right.
It was wow. That was the funniest part of the damn roast. And I can't believe, it's just that because I had just watched the Potomac episode, which came out this week. Yesterday. Potomac is back. Real Housewives of Potomac. Married to Medicine is back.
Yes.
My girls, our peak blacks are back. And baby, Juan and Robin, it's just another season of Juan embarrassing Robin. Right after they renewed, as soon as she married that man again.
Juan, the man said, yeah. I just be too nice. I pay for homeless people to get food. I pay for homeless people to have coats.
I do that too, yeah.
Of course, I would pay for a Instagram model to have her whole hotel room because she...
What a leap. I said, now, okay, I donate to charity. I could do some clothes. I might see somebody on the street and run them a $5 bill, $20 bill.
Of course, I would get an Instagram model. Her own hotel room because she forgot her wallet in the casino. How could I not?
Of course, I would go lay my card down, but not lay down with her. That's crazy.
I don't think she wants to shake the bear. This nigga is, or poke him at any way. I think he's just really highly irritable.
No, I definitely think he's irritable. I think he's definitely it's very manipulative to make the person who you betrayed feel like they have to walk around eggshells around you. That is something that men have been doing from the beginning of time.
They have mastered that art.
They have mastered that shit like a fucking trade. You understand? It's a skill set. It's so crazy. And it's painful to watch it on camera because I really think that I didn't think Robin is just she married him twice. And that's what she shouldn't have done. And I know she knows there's just no way she can be that embarrassed again. She's like, I've done it. We were divorced most of the time, and now I'm here. Because literally, she's sitting there believing dumbass stories that I know she knows are dumb. And when they had Giselle tried to put together or take a minute girl come sit down and tell us what's been happening, drink session for her with Ashley and Charisse, and Giselle sat there hey, we too have been played by men that we trusted.
All of us.
So
This
maybe you
trio is-
won't feel so defensive when we talk
Right.
to you about how it's your turn.
It made her feel worse.
And Robin said, keep it. Keep the healing. Keep the common sense away from me. I don't want none to do with none of that.
Sharice
Giselle
even did a bit more effort than she's ever done in any episode and shed a tear.
way more.
Right. She's giving us so much more already. I said things are looking up for Sharice at this point. Now the fact that my girl has at least told one story and at least shed one tear, I appreciated it.
I'm gonna pray for Rob. I think the thing is it's like you just don't want to leave. You want to stay. You want to believe your husband, sure, but you can't drag us with you.
That's interesting.
There's a lot of questions that are not being asked on purpose.
Here. Go ahead.
And it all speaks to just really why I love Bravo reality television shows so much.
Absolutely.
Like the Housewives are just my biggest guilty pleasure. There may not be Emmy or Oscar contenders, but they're deep in my heart.
No, yeah, there are guilty pleasures. Like there's so much wrapped up in our guilty pleasures. TV shows, movies, even foods. Like when I try to make a list, Sylvia, of all the guilty pleasures that I got, and it's not looking like guilty pleasures. It's just looking like living. It's looking like this is what I'm doing.
It's interesting what like constructs what, and I also think like post pandemic, like what we do for comfort looks so differently. Mm-hmm. We use the term guilty pleasure, like I think everybody uses it differently. So we want to unpack the guilty and the pleasure.
Right. Why do we feel guilty for taking in these pleasures? And why we like what we like, and why you'll never be able to take Tubi away from me, baby. Because the next guilty pleasure that I'm about to mention, I think a lot of y'all even know, because a lot of y'all are like me. So let's get into it.
Let's get into it, because my bag is full. My guilty pleasure bag is full. Tubi, y'all can have it.
One thing I've been loving about being home for a little bit is getting back into my routines, catching up on my shows, including, a few guilty pleasures like, I have been binge watching the shit out of Suits, okay? I binge watched and finished Tubi's own Hoochie Daddy season. Great. Producers, let's get in here. Listen up. Hit up Get Her Done Productions, because that's the name of
Excuse me?
Get Her Done Productions, and figure out how you guys can work together and give everybody a mic for the show. They only work on a boom system, so they're not catching everybody's language. I'm just hearing shit out of left field, right field, then fights break out. But I really do like the Hoochie Daddy series, so I hope it comes back for another season.
What is Hoochie Daddy is about? What would you say the synopsis is?
Mask presenting lesbians come together and compete for the Hoochie Daddy chain and a trip to Jamaica.
A trip to a chain. Well, you know what? It could be worse.
I want you to see the chain.
It could have been Miami. So I'm glad for them for overachieving.
Right.
That's good for them.
I want you to see the chain real quick. But those are some of my guilty pleasures. I do like to eat, a little White Castle here and there. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry, guys. I'm so sorry.
The funny thing is that I knew that, but every time I hear it, it's like I make myself forget.
I'm from Jersey. What y'all want to do?
No, I have partaken in White Castle. I won't lie, but it's been a long time.
Only when I'm a little high, when I'm doing a little weed, just a teeny of the weed. I have to have a
White Castle. McDonald's won't do the job. It won't get the job done.
No. But yeah, those are some of my guilty pleasures.
You know, watching reality television shows that you're ashamed to watch is my top on my guilty pleasures list.
Yeah.
You know, from the Kardashians to some of the Love and Hip Hop ones to, you know, the house. Like, it's just because, you know, it's just so, sometimes it gets so trashy, but you just can't look away. Sometimes it's like you're watching a car accident, you just can't look away. But let's define guilty pleasure first to see what we're working with. Because, you know, I love a definition. Because words mean things. Merriam-Webster says something pleasurable that induces a usually minor feeling of guilt. Okay, usually minor feeling of guilt. Okay. Google says something such as a movie, television program, or piece of music that one enjoys despite feeling that it is not generally held in high regard. Okay.
Yeah.
What that's criteria. I understand how that makes things feel guilty pleasure. Like, growing up, what were some guilty pleasures that you remember seeing?
Growing up, I would see my mom, you know, watch a lot of, I think that would be for her. I think a guilty pleasure would be like Snapped. Watch Snapped or true crime stuff. For her, and also like my grandparents, they would be watching like their stories, which would be, I guess, a guilty pleasure because it's terrible TV. But the story is so good for my grandparents, they don't care. They're gonna watch it.
Soap operas were definitely the one. I think soap operas had our grandparents in a chokehold. My grandpa loved Some Days of Our Lives.
Right.
All of that stuff.
Mostly it would be just like eating, I think. Eating stuff you have no business eating.
A little something sweet.
A little something. I need something sweet.
I need a little something sweet.
The moment that you've unlocked, I need a little something sweet
at the end of the night,
baby. You are an adult. You're an adult now.
You are the grown up.
You need to start working on the 401k. Absolutely.
You need to start putting a little something, like, you need to get the life insurance out because it's
and then watching Maury. Maury, I think, started to become, I mean, it is a real guilty pleasure. I used to love that show. Maury, Jerry Springer, Ricky Lake.
Now, Ricky, you remember Sally? Jesse Raphael.
Yes.
The Rickies and the Sallys. I could never really get into the Maurys and the Jerry Springers. Even as a kid, I said I understood it was too much. As an empath, everybody on that stage, I was feeling bad for. I'm like, this is crazy. It was too much chaos to take in at once.
I used to tell my mom, watch this girl curse her mother out, and be grateful that you got what I am giving to you. Because you used to watch like the Maurys and you're like, I'm 13 years old and I get to leave whenever I want. And I'd be like, wow, that's a life.
Some badass kids. I'm like, this is crazy that you haven't got smacked on national television for saying something like that.
So I used to watch the shit out of those. And then Jerry Springer, you know, it's Jerry Springer. It's crazy. You saw that video of like the woman being afraid of olives? Like, it's stuff like that. Like,
I think I did, like, it was crazy, but, you know, soap operas were really my thing. For me, I was a soap opera girly. Like, I don't know if you remember this one soap opera. It was the first one, like, because soap operas, when we were coming up, they had all existed for so much longer than us that you never really saw the beginning. Like, nobody ever saw episode 1 of General Hospital or All My Children or Days. Like, so when Passions came to be, when we were old enough to see Day One, I said, because it came out right after Days of Our Lives, which was, we were an NBC soap family. And so I was like, oh, I finally get to be at the forefront of something here. And I, dead ass, was like maybe 4th grade. And like, was watching it with my older cousins. And it got to the point that even when they moved away, I would start to record. See, kids today don't know this because we didn't have on demand, but I would have to do something like put a blank VHS in my TV, set it to record at a time using the menu button to hope that it would catch the soap opera during the times while I was walking home from school, so that when I got home, I would go in my room, pull out my homework, and press play on Passions and get it done. I was, since a kid, I loved soap operas, which I think led directly into my passion for reality television.
Yeah.
Like the more we talk about it, the more I realize that like talk shows, soap operas, the mess, the chaos, that's what it was rooted in, for sure.
Yeah.
But like, why do we like the mess? Is it like, I mean, sometimes it's comforting to see that somebody's life is going is more chaotic or going crazier than yours. Like, do you think like that's what it is, or do you think it's just like entertaining?
It's entertaining, but I wonder about. So I think mostly, yeah, I liked reality TV, like that type of, maybe not reality TV or like soap operas or things like that, but TLC used to have some of the craziest shit on their program.
Would you be like, what's TLC, and, like the 90 Day Fiance channel?
No, yeah. So like they had I'm Addicted to Eating Toilet Paper, Hoarders, shit like that. I used to been Wife Swap.
Oh, now that was a crazy era.
I think Experiments. What would you do? Like stuff like that for me. I just need to see how people are living. I think that for me is something that I've been, and it's not mess or chaos. It's just something different from, I guess, what I experience in my house. So seeing people when they do Wife Swap, I love Wife Swap. I still watch it.
Wife Swap is crazy because it's like, I remember it was crazy. You just was like, crazy. Hey, yeah, it's a psychology. It's definitely a psychology in there. It's definitely like a lens that, like, I think I like watching like day in the life reality. Like I like here's how our family is. Like I think I was like, that's like I get into like even just like here's how, like, you know, like I think it started with, who was the very first couple? Jessica Simpson and Nick Lachey, the newlyweds, or like The Hills, Laguna Beach. Like just day in the life of people, like, oh, these are how people live who are like it's just so crazy, like life nothing like mine. Like we're all humans on this planet, but they're on the opposite side of the country. They're white girls in the valley, whatever, and I'm just like, huh, that's so crazy that your life is like this, because it's just like, I think that's what fascinates me. Like it's not even an experiment, it's just like, this is just how y'all live, this is how y'all family dynamics are. And I think because somebody who was always really into pop culture, when celebrities started to open up that third curtain and show us like how they just live day to day, I was like, wow. You know what I mean? Like people forget Whitney and Bobby were the first big hit on Bravo. Being Bobby Brown was the first.
That was a great show. That was a great show. My mom used to let me watch that show.
We all did, because we couldn't believe it. The greatest singer of all time was letting us watch her day to day. Was crazy. It's just like, also, you went from not knowing what they were doing, like when they leave award shows. It was before social media even. It was like our first glimpse.
Because I think a lot of people had this idea of what Whitney Houston was.
Yes.
And when they realized that, no, baby, girls from
everybody from Jersey knew. Everybody said she's from Elizabeth, baby. Like she went to church in Newark.
Okay.
America's who? Sweetheart.
When she started to come out more, like, you know, her personality started to shine more, I think more Black people started to be like,
oh, Whitney's a nigga.
Oh, she a nigga.
I see why her and Bobby ended up together now.
Right.
Because at the time, people were like,
yeah. So it gave, I think reality TV gave a lot of people room to speak their mind and also present whomever they are to the public.
Yeah.
Right. And so like that, but like, question, was the Laguna Beach moments for you like that guilty pleasure? Have you been ashamed or embarrassed for somebody to find out that you watched that? Like, what is the guilty pleasure that you'd be like, wow, my friends would never talk to me again?
Well, no, I will say that I was embarrassed. And here's a redemption story, because I love how full circle this is. My biggest embarrassment once upon a time was how addicted I was to watching the Kardashians. Because those women, those white women, and the way they were carrying on, I knew it wasn't right. You know, like
I knew it wasn't right.
Like I wasn't watching. I wasn't watching from a place of admiration. I was watching from a place of like, and I mean, also to be clear, I watched from the beginning, because again, I'm E had me like Bravo had me, and so at first it was just this white family. They weren't really doing anything to the black community. It was Kim. She had some type of tape, and then now he was a family show. I like family shows, so I just started watching it from the beginning. So it was like and then as it became and they became, it was like the craziest social experiment I ever seen in my life happening. And like to watch the ascension happen in real time, season to season. Like, cause Kim lived in an apartment like this the first season. Like their house was regular. Like to see the ascension was great. And I was like, these white women are taking over. And it's like, and they're only dating black men, and their faces and bodies are changing with each season, and the drama, and then they're getting more money and the brand deals, because it was like watching influencers as influencers were becoming influencers. So it was like you can make money off of diet pills. Like it was just things, and it was like watching it happen in real time. So it was just so fascinating. And then as it became more of a attack on black culture, it was like so it was just so crazy to just as it ascended. But as the more and more they were getting popularized for having butts or like good earrings or like only dating black men, the more ashamed I was that I was still like giving them viewership. Right. But here's how things always come around, because my biggest guilty pleasure turned out to be the avenue for my success in my career, because the only reason I got the Black China story was because when Black China did what she did and everybody was kind of tapped in, they're like, why am I cheering for her? I knew exactly why, because I had been watching every single episode. And then when she got pregnant by Rob, BuzzFeed was like, we don't have time to get a freelancer. We need somebody who knows everything already. Right. Right. And we had guilty pleasure Slack groups. I don't know if people had that in their group, like in their offices, but like we had Slack groups based on different topics at BuzzFeed, and the Kardashians was one of them. So people knew, they were like, we need a black woman who loves the Kardashians, and it was me. Everybody was like, Sylvia's seen every episode, and she can explain what she's been seeing, and that's the reason why I was able to write that in a week. And so I remember saying to my mom, remember when y'all said that I was wasting my time watching television?
Look at this.
Like my TV addiction came in handy career-wise, but that really was it. It was because of how they're acting. And I mean, SKIMS. SKIMS is another thing I'm embarrassed about. It goes right in hand. It's a good line, guys. Don't know what to say. Kim did her thing with SKIMS. And I believe there's a black woman involved somewhere at the top. I really do. I forget her name right now. But she's there and she's making money off of this too. I've tried the dupes. I've tried the links that y'all say are like it, and it's just
it is not.
And it's not. So that cotton is so damn soft. The underwear, it's just never. Anyway,
I'm sorry.
So it's the Kardashians and my buy-in to some of their brands, because I've heard Good American jeans are great as well. I have not tapped into that, but I was part of a support group, text group chat that was black women who love SKIMS, but were afraid to say it out loud. Because it was like, we were like, what's happening, guys? Wait a minute. Do we like this shit? Not Kim. So those are the ones that I've been ashamed and embarrassed about. But yeah, if you ever want to talk about the Kardashians, I got you. What is yours?
Yeah. I think I said mine early on. I think my is White Castle.
That's embarrassing.
I'm embarrassed. Whenever I pick it up downstairs, I feel like I have to wear the biggest hoodie, and I come downstairs like I don't want anyone to see me, and I run downstairs with my high ass and just run upstairs and eat my White Castles in peace. Sometimes in silence, because I'm just so embarrassed. So I think eating White Castle is like my top one. As far as watching TV, there's embarrassing. No, I think
or ashamed of, not wanting people to find out about.
Not embarrassed, but this is what I'm saying. I don't be embarrassed by it.
But that's good. I like that.
There's things that I'm not. I don't care if somebody says, "Hey, you know, you drink soda, you drink Coke, you drink Pepsi. Abso-fucking-lutely. And if you don't want me to slap the shit out of you, then you would let me drink this Pepsi in peace, because this is the only thing. This is like a cigarette to me. Pepsi is like my cigarette. If I'm having a bad day, immediately I get a Pepsi, because I need
the sugar
to level out.
She needs that corn syrup. She needs that high fructose corn syrup.
I don't rely on it every day, but if my period is on its way, or I'm angry and I'm like, oh, I've had a day. It's not alcohol. It's not a cigarette. It's not weed. It's just a bottle of 20 ounce.
20 ounce.
I remember one time I drank a whole 2 liter, Sylvia.
the big one for the families?
Yes, for the for the game nights. For the fucking football games. And I got a that size 2 liter and like a pizza, full size, not personal pan. Personal was too small. Got a medium sized pizza, ate all of that and drank all of it. That's when I said, okay, I will never say this. I am saying it now.
Here we are.
It was like 5 years ago, but I was like, damn, this is aggressive.
This was a wild one. This was a wild night for me. Yeah,
I'm doing wild things. And it wasn't like a wild night, Sylvia. It wasn't like, oh, it's 2 a.m. Sylvia, it was like 6 p.m. And I'm drinking heavily. Like it's Jack Daniels to the head.
How have your guilty pleasures changed now that you're older? Like, is there any difference between what your guilty pleasures were as a teenager or in your early 20s versus like now in your 30s?
Yeah, I think yeah. I think I had some different guilty pleasures in the 20s where I would have some really guilty pleasures. Okay? Fucking that nigga that you have no business fucking. Those type of niggas. Those type of pleasures where, for me, I think those two, going back on my boundaries, making one and then saying, just kidding. We could just,
I like that you're framing those as a guilty pleasure, though, because I think those are. I think that some people, there's a lot of people who do these things but frame them as mistakes versus things that they know that they wanted to do.
No, yeah.
Like, it's hard for people to admit that they want to do the bad thing. But because then you have to deal with the fact
that you wanted to do that.
Do it.
Like, this is what
even though it's bad. Not like, I accidentally did the bad thing. Now you know you wanted to do it.
And you did it. And you knew in your right mind that it was wrong, and you still went on and did that. Thank you.
Did it anyway.
So there was moments like that, I think, in my 20s where I was just doing a lot of the guilty and the pleasure. And I think, I don't know, as far as like, I wanted to say this before, but with TV shows and things like that, people make us feel bad for certain shit that I think they have no business making us feel bad for. I think it is mostly just men talking about, I don't see how you could watch reality TV. I don't get how, because I think everybody, I guess, who doesn't watch this shit thinks that we're watching in admiration. Like, we're watching to be these housewives. We're watching to be Kim Kardashian. We're watching to be, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, so, like, nobody's idolizing these people.
Right. And that's what I'm thinking, like, they're doing.
Well, some of the girls are.
I'm about to say, although there are tons of women that do that, I think it's important to know that there are people like Sylvia who framed it perfectly, where it's like, oh, this is the type of life that you're living. Oh, this is how you came about doing the wrong shit for Black culture, and how you just how it really happens. That's the blueprint.
Like, watching in real time is crazy. Yeah, watching appropriation in real time.
In real time is crazy. Like, so I get shit like that. Like, I understand. I used to. Now I will say, like, back in the day, I used to judge people who watch Kim Kardashian. Back in I've never watched an episode. I just sometimes watching white people, even with like Real Housewives of whatever white, it's just It's nonsense.
Insert white city here.
Right, white city.
Now, the Beverly Hill girls, Housewives of Beverly Hills,
like,
that's where the money is. Sometimes it's like, there's times where like, no shade. Like, I used to love New Jersey and Atlanta the most, but there were times where there was so much financial struggle that I forgot that they were supposed to be housewives. You know what I mean? It's like, this is supposed to be escapism. This is supposed to be escapism, and it's becoming a little too reality for me. I would like to see. I came here for luxury and high living.
That's true.
These bitches in Beverly Hills, they're doing that consistently. They got the money. You understand? We're taking PJs that are hours on vacation. The homes. I see what their homes are like. Like,
got it.
That type of stuff. But no, I feel you. Watching white people. I mean, there's a guilt about enjoying watching white people live. Ordinary people live, maybe
just watching white people. Sometimes I feel that I also feel guilty about. Just about to say, my Fat Greek Wedding 3 has came out on Peacock.
3? They made
if you think my black ass not gonna watch, right when I get off this damn podcast, you got another thing coming. I fuck with that. I fuck with them. I don't know their names, but I love my big fat Greek wedding. 1, 2, and now 3.
There's white people who I imagine feel guilty about watching Black lives, perhaps like family like shows. I wonder, like, is there white people somewhere in Connecticut who like, I love that Love and Hip Hop boy, love that Jocelyn Hernandez,
love that Zeus Network.
Overconsumption. I think that's the thing too, where it's like I'm taking in too much pleasure, too much joy. I would like to say like, nah, like we need to like kind of reclaim some of the things that we feel guilty about out of bad habits or trauma or like things that weren't supposed to be instilled in us to begin with. Like, I think so many people's guilty pleasures are rooted in food because we were always made, like, we live in a society that's constantly focused on, that's fat phobic and constantly focused on, you know, enjoying food too much is going to lead you down the wrong road. Where it's like, life is hard enough. Can I have a, what?
Because I think also like some of these women, like we were reading this article with celebrities who share what their guilty pleasures are. And I must say that the women are
hungry,
suffering.
They're hungry.
Okay, Beyonce is starving. You hear me? This girl gonna say, I always treat myself to one meal on Sundays. One meal on Sundays when I can have whatever I want. Usually it's pizza, which is my favorite indulgence. Girl, you don't,
what?
Martha Stewart said, it's a spoon of really good organic peanut butter.
I feel like most diets allow that. I feel like most diets allow that.
Or a slice of American cheese from my housekeeper's drawer.
And the plastic is so horrible. I gonna hold you. That was my guilty pleasure at 7. I didn't know me and Martha had that in hobby.
I didn't know it was a guilty pleasure. I knew my mom was starving me because she was asleep and wouldn't get up to feed me breakfast. So there was wrappers all up throughout.
It was the crap. I think for me, maybe I'm eating cheese. It's that I'm taking a slice that's supposed to be on a sandwich or something.
Right.
Out the plastic and
that shit is delicious.
And it's bomb. Okay, I want you to try
for her to be 73
and saying it's crazy.
It's crazy. Okay.
Or Meghan Markle talking about some French fries. And Vino were my vices.
Girl,
like
I'm talking about
French
eating
fry,
a full fucking meal from White Castle. You understand?
A whole pizza, not a slice.
A whole pizza, not a slice.
Like,
they're like, ooh, and there's a lot of light American spirit that I smoke once a week on Saturday night. I have smoked a whole weed long.
Well, there's a difference between a cigarette.
Oh yeah,
I
thought she was going to say something else.
Oh, also she's not smoked anything long. Don't listen to her. She's a lie. Scottie, if she partakes in any of the marijuana, the pre-roll is about the size of my nail. For those who are watching on YouTube, for those who are listening to audio, I would like
Sylvia played the shit out of me.
She called me smoking, and I couldn't even see the blunt through her nails. Like, back when she was had nails, and I'm like, I can't even see it. It's your nails are longer than the pre-roll. It's so. And Scottie also could not hide being high. It's the funniest thing because she looks so guilty, but her eyes be bloodshot red, and she just be cheesing, and she's like, "Hey, nothing's going on here, guys. What's up?" But I'm like, "Are you high?"
Like, are you high with that little ass
with that little ass J? Just so that's her guilty pleasure. I mean, like, because it's like things that used to be taboo, and like there's so many people who are saying baths, different types of bath, or lazy things. Like Oprah said, like she takes too many baths. Like Kerry Washington talking about some like, I really love a massage. Like, are we not allowed to do these things? Shonda Rhimes talking about something she likes to be alone. Are these guilty pleasures?
The girls are suffering.
What are you saying?
What are you saying?
Well, honestly, but it's a lot of people. It's a lot of women who are saying doing nothing, and that's why they're successful too. Because like the way we have been taught that not being late, like the way we weren't allowed to sleep in on weekends, or the way we were taught that if you just laying there doing nothing, that ain't right, that you can't rest, that you can't enjoy being alone, like that you can't take a bath is good, it's actually healthy for you for a lot of ways. It regulates your circulation. It's a stress like these are not things that we should be ashamed of doing. Yeah. And I want us to start setting 10 toes down in the fact of like, bitch, if you like a bath, take a bath. If you like a massage, especially if you got Kerry Washington money, get the fucking massage. Like, why is that crazy?
Massage, girl, get up. Yeah, this
girl, get up, girl. It's about how we as Black women, I feel like also like we've just been taught that we can never just be still. Yeah. So much so that we feel guilty
that it's
about
a guilty pleasure. That's crazy.
And I get it because when I first, don't you not remember like when you first started living alone and you could make your own rules? Did you not used to feel guilty like, oh my God, I slept past noon today. That's my, like that used to be, now I lean in. Now my group chats know, is Sylvia 100%. Awake? Who knows?
We all know not to hit Sylvia after probably 10 a.m. We're like, all right. She might be up. Maybe not.
10 a.m. feels like a perfectly natural time to wake up if you have no children and no 9 to 5.
I totally understand. But I be telling them in the group chat, don't y'all call her. She's not up. Wait.
Less guilt, more pleasure. That's what I want for Black women in 2024 and the end of 2020. Especially as we come into Q4. It's the holiday. It's my favorite season. It's all about, it's Christmas, it's giving, it's the time where we overindulge a lot. We spend, whether it's with family, off time, rest, food, money being spent on people you love and yourself. Like,
I think holidays are really hard for a lot of people. It's, it is a great time to celebrate, those that are around you that you love. But I know that it could be hard on a lot of people. So doing something for yourself during this holiday, because you got to hold on tight, child. The depression will come.
Yeah, rearing its head. Daylight savings is here. The daylight is gone.
Baby, it was pitch black at 6 p.m.
Yes.
I said, damn.
This has been a fun talk, but we also haven't played a game in a while. So let's see I would think we should see how well we know each other's guilty pleasures a bit. Let's wrap for the game for the next segment.
Jesus.
So we're gonna play a little game we're calling Guilty or Nah.
I hate the way you say nah.
Nah.
Guilty or nah.
Like I'm a Siri reading Ebonics. You ever have like when you have an automated robot, somebody's texting you when you're driving or something, or come in your headphones? Sylvia said we going to nah. It's like what? Anyway, so we'll each read a prompt, and the other person has to guess what they think our guilty pleasure is. For every right answer, you get 1 point. For every wrong answer, you lose a point. We're going to have our producers keeping track in the background to tell us who wins at the end, because that's a lot to do. So are you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready. Let's do it.
All right, let's do it. Okay. By the looks of my bathroom cabinets.
Yes.
My guilty pleasure is
masks. Buying masks. So many masks.
I was going to say, I think yours is beauty skincare products too.
Yeah.
Also hair products for you, I'm sure.
Yes.
Too. Yes.
A lot.
Okay.
My favorite guilty pleasure aisle at Target is
home goods.
Yes. I spend hours
in that home goods section stylizing several people's apartments and then leaving with a pillow.
Literally taking pictures of lamps. That's all I do. Lamps. Anything else? Oh, comforters.
Ooh,
yeah, things like that. I am crazy about. Absolutely. Spend hours. So now I get to guess what your aisle is.
Yeah. What do you think my aisle is?
Skincare.
You know, I think mine is in the similar home area. I think the specific thing would probably be the candle section from,
Fuck, I should have said
the candle section.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I was going to say candles. I really was. You're right.
My go-to Uber Eats DoorDash order is...
Sylvia, this is
hard.
tough.
I think it's tough.
Okay.
There's multiple answers. I'll allow if you get multiple. If you give one?
I don't know, Sylvia, because when I be asking you about, what we gonna eat, and you be like, "There's a good burrito place with the eggs in it," and I was like,
Wake and Late. Yeah, no, I do. It's my favorite breakfast. Wake and Late. I don't eat breakfast often, but when I do, it's Wake and Late. I almost tried to get it here today. Yes, that is a good one. That's a good one. I'll allow it. I like California. They put me onto the breakfast burrito.
Okay, I remember. I was like, "What, Sylvia? What's that?"
Yeah,
I was gonna say hibachiani, but
that's mine,
right.
I have your LA. I get the LA one. I mean, I think probably my most guilty go-to order is like Five Guys. Like if I do it, I'll be like, Five Guys. Yikes.
Five Guys. Okay.
You have to read this. Oh, you're reading this one first. I'm laughing thinking about multiple answers.
My favorite guilty pleasure on vacation is... Well, there's two I'll allow.
Okay, yours. I mean, again, here's maybe why we're friends is because we have similar ones. I think we both, the spa is one.
Yeah. Okay.
I think a non-spa answer for you is like a favorite guilty pleasure on vacation is like, I mean, you love an excursion, but I don't know how guilty you feel about it. You love an excursion. She's like,
feel bad
I want
for getting other
sail,
people.
I want a jet ski. I want a zip line. Something in action.
Yes. I think that, and I was gonna say for yours was the spa. Sylvia will spend grips. Okay, baby girl's gonna be there.
Pick your guilty pleasure: breakfast for dinner or dinner for breakfast.
For you,
I guess
dinner for breakfast.
You think I'm?
I'm sorry. Breakfast for dinner. Sorry, breakfast for dinner because you don't eat breakfast like that. So breakfast for dinner rather than dinner for breakfast.
That's true.
Yeah,
that's true. For you, this is. Why are you making this face?
I just had Benihana this morning.
I was like, you'll eat. I was really about to say for you, you'll eat a leftover first thing because you was thinking about it like last night.
I don't like leftovers, but Benihana leftovers.
No, I mean like, but if there's something in her fridge that like I have seen you take out like a steak from the night before and be like,
steak and eggs.
Let me throw some eggs on it and make it breakfast.
I will do that immediately. Oh, the final score is tied, guys.
That was
3 points each. We do know each other really well. We know each other's guilty pleasures. So yeah, this was great. I hope to play more games like this. I do want a tiebreaker though. I kind of feel like, I don't know.
Here she go. Here she go.
Okay, fine. We will move on. It's tied. No, I have to do better. Let it be
so
a tie.
Competitive.
Before we let you go, we always want to close with a few words of affirmations that held us together over the past week. So what do you have for the people this week, Sylvia?
My affirmation from this week, or takeaway from my week, that really goes, I think it all ties in together a bit with guilty pleasure, but also just with doing things, allowing it to be I think that there's a healthy way to go about having, like, to tapping into guilty pleasures. And I think sometimes we deserve to do things that for our inner child that we once maybe felt like we couldn't do, but you like giving yourself permission to do something that doesn't make sense or that isn't responsible. Like I said, like at the top of this show, I really had that moment with myself last week when I was like, it is not the responsible thing to do to go to homecoming, but I want to do it in the sense of like my body. I knew I was tired. Like for me, like I had been on the road. I had been tired.
Yeah.
I knew I probably need some electrolytes and some rest and like whatever else. It was an easier flight nonstop back to LA versus like 2 layover flights to like whatever. But it's what I wanted to do. And I want to remind y'all that sometimes because you want to is enough.
Yeah.
I did this because I want to. Because I wanted to. Because I can. Because I give the adult me gives the child me permission. I think as somebody who is so obedient, such a rule follower, such like I'm constantly trying to push myself to push against like what I think I should, like what society thinks I should or shouldn't be doing. Whatever the person is in your head or whatever the rule is, or like none of it's real. Is my point. So like this week, I would like everybody to just do something that you may have passed the judge yourself for, but you shouldn't. Like free yourself, give yourself the permission to do something. Less guilt, more pleasure. That's where I'm at with it. How about you?
I love that. I was having a discussion with my massage therapist, and she's I get massages every month. I'm not playing with y'all.
Listen.
But she had said to me, like when I was explaining to her what I was doing as far as like traveling a lot and doing all these things, she just was very adamant on telling me like, this is the time. You need to do what you want to do. She's like, I wish I knew that like at a younger age that I could just do, you know, travel more and do all these things where I didn't have as many responsibilities. Then I seen like a affirmation, of course, on Instagram that was like 20 years from now, you give anything to be this age again, exactly this healthy and have this time again. Go do some main character shit before it's too late. Cause I think too, like, you know, I don't care what age it is, honestly. I don't care what age. Time is time. And if you continue, like, just to think that you're going to do things later may never come. So just do the shit now. You know, I've seen a lot of people physically leave this earth throughout these months. So I just want to make sure that we be happy for the now, live in the now, do what the fuck you want in the now. You know, I'm not saying do if it's doing harm to somebody, absolutely not. If it's doing fucked up shit to someone else, it's crazy. No, absolutely not. But do something that makes you happy that will not harm anyone else. I think you should definitely just take part in. And it's not a guilty pleasure, it's a pleasure. And we deserve pleasures in life.
We do deserve pleasure. And there's more ways to have pleasure than just fucking. Maybe we found ways to have pleasure.
Now listen.
I knew you were going to say that.
So listen. Make sure you come back for more of the Scottie and Sylvia show, because what do we do it all for?
We do it all for you.